This is Road to the White House, C-SPAN's weekly look at 2000 presidential politics. Up next, Governor George Bush campaigns in Keene, New Hampshire. But first, our weekly look at historic campaign ads. These commercials are part of the archival collection at the University of Oklahoma's Political Communications Center. Tonight, the 1976 presidential race.
If there's one thing that can bind our country together, that can make us have hope again and faith in the future, it's a president who's in touch with the American people, a man who understands our needs and our strengths. Such a man is Jimmy Carter.
We've seen walls built around Washington, and we feel like we can't quite get through to guarantee the people of this country a government that's sensitive to our needs. And if there are things that you don't like in your own government, if we've made mistakes that you don't want to see made again, or if there are hopes or dreams in your own lives or in the lives of your children that you'd like to see realized, I hope that you'll join me in a personal commitment to change our government for the better.
Together we can make our country strong again. Vote for Jimmy Carter, a leader for a change.
There's a change that's come over America, a change that's great to see. We're living here in peace again, we're going back to work again, it's better than it used to be. I'm feeling good about America. And
today, America enjoys the most precious gift of all. We are at peace.
We're at peace with the world and at peace with ourselves. America is smiling again. And a great many people believe that the leadership of this steady, dependable man can keep America happy and secure. We know we can depend on him to work to keep us strong at home. We know we can depend on him to work to ease tensions among the other nations of the world. We know we can depend on him to make peace his highest priority. Peace with freedom. Is there anything more important than that?
We need a sunshine law in Washington to open up the deliberations of executive and legislative branches of government to the public, so that we can understand when decisions are made about our own lives, what went on behind those locked doors. There's no doubt in my mind that every lobbyist in Washington knows what goes on behind those locked doors when the Congress is passing a tax measure or spending our tax money. But I was governor of 5 million people and I didn't know, so we need a sunshine law to open up government so the people can understand it.
Vote for Jimmy Carter, a leader for a change.
Under the proposals that I recommended, no person would have to pay more than $750 a year for both hospital care and medical care. With that kind of protection, then nobody really has to fear all of their resources being depleted. I say frequently, and I mean it, there's no reason why somebody should go broke just to get well.
A sensitive man, President Ford.
I'm Jimmy Carter. The problem isn't 6.5% inflation. That's just something written on a piece of paper. The problem is, how can a family pay those grocery bills and keep up with the mortgage and taxes and pay for a college education? People work hard, and they should be able to keep what they work for. I want a chance to give back to you the security and the hopes for tomorrow that inflation is stealing from you. With your help, we can do it. You can depend on it.
Jimmy Carter wants to cut our defense budget $5 to $7 billion. Look at your children. If he makes a mistake in defense spending, our children will pay the ultimate price. In what coin will that price be paid? Freedom? Their lives? Doesn't Mr. Carter owe it to you to explain cutting defense when the Soviet Union is building an aggressive force of staggering size? President Ford stands on a platform which calls for defense superiority as the best way to keep the peace. Let's keep him on the job.
I believe in tough, competent management. I believe that the best government is the one closest to the people. I believe that people ought to control their own government and not the other way around. I believe in long-range planning. I believe in balanced budgets. I believe in screening out or eliminating programs that have long past served their usefulness. I believe in an open government, one that people can both understand and control. I believe that when there's a choice to be made between government and private industry, if it's an equal choice, I go with a private industry. This is a kind of concept that is generally considered to be conservative. But at the same time, I believe in human beings, in equal opportunity, in freedom, in equality of opportunity. And I'll fight for it.
If you agree that government should be sensible yet sensitive, vote for Jimmy Carter, a leader for a change.
Mr. President, for some years the estate tax laws haven't been changed, and it's forcing a lot of children and widows of farmers to sell the family farm in order to pay the taxes or the small business. Do you propose to change that in any way?
Yes, earlier this year, I recommended to the Congress that the $60,000 exemption in the estate tax be increased to at least $150,000, and any estate tax left over beyond that, the rate of interest to be paid to the government be cut back to 4%, and the payments be spread over a 10 or 20-year period. I don't believe it's fair for the tax collector to come in and take over a family farm or a family business when it goes from one generation to another.
President Ford has now signed the bill that raises the inheritance tax exemption. Let's keep to his steady course.
Jimmy Carter would never allow our nation to be threatened by economic blackmail.
I would make it clear to the Arab countries, in no uncertain terms, that if they ever again try to blackmail this nation, as it did in 1973, by declaring an embargo against us, that we would consider it instantly not a military but an economic declaration of war, and that we would respond in like terms and declare a total embargo against them, not ship them any food, no weapons, no spare parts for weapons, no oil drilling rigs, no oil pipe, no nothing. I think this would prevent their trying to bring this nation to its knees again with an oil embargo, and would ensure that we could continue to get shipments of oil to this country.
If you agree that it's time we stopped paying for the lack of leadership in our country, do something about it. Vote for Jimmy Carter, a leader for a change.
He grew up in Grand Rapids and was educated at Michigan. He married a hometown girl and served the people of Western Michigan in the Congress for 25 years. Now Michigan's Gerald Ford is President of the United States, the first president Michigan has ever had. Let's keep him there.
Those who know Jimmy Carter best are from Georgia. That's why we thought you ought to know. The Savannah, Georgia News endorses Gerald Ford for president. The Augusta, Georgia Herald endorses President Ford. The Atlanta, Georgia Daily World endorses President Ford. The Marietta, Georgia Journal endorses President Ford. The Albany, Georgia Herald endorses President Ford. The Augusta, Georgia Chronicle endorses President Ford. The Savannah, Georgia Press endorses...
Those political ads are from the 1976 presidential race and are part of the collection at the Political Communications Center at the University of Oklahoma. If you'd like more information, the address is 610 Elm Avenue in Norman, Oklahoma, and the zip code is 73019.